Hello all. Today we are going to learn how to set up and run a campaign in EAB Navigate. So the campaign is where you actively solicit a student to meet with you. It's a great tool to use for registration advising or when you really just need to meet with a batch of students. So let's jump in here. So from the UMW homepage, click EAB Tools and then select the link here for Navigate. You'll punch in your single sign-on credentials if you need to, but you'll pop to your home screen here. So the first step before you actually jump into a campaign is to set up some availability. So go to your My Availability tab, and I've already entered some time here. But what you're going to want to do is click Actions, Add Time, and then you can select multiple days of the week, times, and all of this information. So I've already got two. Let's just say that on Mondays and Wednesdays, I want to be available for a short spell from 2 to 3. And you can select the whole term, forever, which I would not recommend, or a range of dates. So in our case, let's see, we're thinking through registration advising as an example. So let's just set it later in the semester for that time frame, 8th to the 9th. For campaigns, that's the one we want to select. That's where we actively solicit students by email to schedule with you. Care unit is going to be advising. Location is going to be faculty office virtual meeting. In the service type, you could select any that seemed best to you, but I think registration makes the most sense for registration advising. If you wanted to do it by phone or had a Zoom link, you could put that in here and it would be part of what's in the package for the students, and you can write special instructions here. I would encourage you to do that if you're scheduling it by Zoom or phone, or even if you're back on campus at some point and want to meet in your office. This would be a great place to let them know your exact office location and those kinds of instructions. And click Save. The time will populate here. Time in pink is either time that has passed already or time in the future. So this is all time that we have set up for some future dates. So no worry, the students will still be able to find you. When the 8th of March hits, for example, this line will become white because it's now. But if it's in the future, a student should still be able to find you. You could go back and edit this. You could copy the contents of one to recreate a new one if you need. It's kind of a scatter shots of time throughout. But once you've got that done, you can click campaigns here on the left or campaigns over here in the quick links box. And appointment campaigns. This gives you a review of what you've got out there. We're going to make a new one. So actions in the gray box. I want to create a new appointment campaign. We're going to call this test version 3. And this is where you really want to make sure that your everything matches between this screen and what we just did under My Availability. If there's a discrepancy, it will not find you in the system. So that when you make it to the staff selection page, if you don't see yourself, it's probably because the parameters you set up here and the times or the parameters you put in My Availability don't match. So care unit, we chose advising when we did My Availability. Location, we chose faculty office virtual meeting, so select that again. And the service we chose was registration. The dates, again, so long as there's some overlap, good to go. I believe what we said, these dates here, they could be different, but so long as there's overlap, that's what the system's going to look for. Appointment limit, each student can meet with you one time. You could select more if you wanted to. You can control the appointment length this way. So for registration advising, maybe that's 15 minutes. And slots per time for registration advising is going to be 1. This allows you to increase it to higher numbers if you wanted to meet with a small group of students. I know some department chairs do this to meet with small batches of students who are interested in their major in their department. But for this purpose, keep it as a 1. Continue. So for you faculty members, you should have assigned students already, your assigned advisees, and there will be an additional option here where you just select your assigned advisees for this particular term. So you could do that and search them and then continue. Or you can use the advanced search function. So the advanced search function allows you to find one-off students with student IDs or last names, but it also, and you can access an advanced search anytime over here if you wanted to find a batch of students that meet a particular criteria. So as a quick rundown, there are tons of academic indicators, if you will, here that you could mix and match and find all kinds of information on a specific group of students you're looking for. I know a faculty member who uses this to target potential students for an honors club that they have, just to get a shorter list to work from to see if there are students who are eligible for an honor society within their major. So play around with this at any point if you want to. You can search by specific courses for different terms, past terms, multiple terms, different colleges, I mean, all kinds of information. Minors are in here as well under category. So student information category has pretty much every banner category that we have in here. But if you wanted to search for minors, just type minor and it should bring up a list of the minors here. So feel free to play around with that. Again, it's a large magnifying glass on the side. For our purposes, I have a dummy student we're going to look up. I believe the dummy student ID is as follows. You could also copy and paste student IDs from a spreadsheet you've got and throw them in here. So long as there's a space between them, that'll work. And you could search for the students. Click search, and it'll bring up all of your students, or in this case, the one. So you could select the individual student, or if there are multiples, all the students. And then if, I should say too, if you end up having, and I don't know why you would for your advisees, but if you have more than 100 advisees, or if you have more than 100 students in an advanced search list and click all, another option will come up here to confirm if you want to select all of those over 100 students, since that's the limit per page. But in our case, there we go. We've got what we need. Continue. And we're just reviewing. That's the student we've got. We could remove that student or an individual student if they got on there by mistake. Continue. And this is where you select yourself. So if you do not see yourself here, please don't select somebody else. That happens sometimes. And then all of that person's advisees get dumped on somebody else's schedule. And that is not exactly fair or appropriate. So if you don't see yourself here, it probably means there's a discrepancy in what you entered for my availability in the parameters of the campaign. A lot of times a person will put registration as the service reason under my availability, but then we'll click select, discuss a course or something like that in the campaign. Well, it's looking for overlap, and that's clearly in violation of the one-to-one, so it's not seeing you there. So if that's an issue, you don't see yourself, just go back and make sure that all of the locations and care units and the reason or service type is matching. But if you do see yourself, go ahead and select yourself, and then continue. And this is where you get to customize the email that gets sent to the student. So it's going to bring in their first name through this merge here. It's going to bring in a link through this merge here. I would keep those. If you do delete them by mistake, you can copy and paste them from below here as needed. And you can change all of the text to customize it to make it appropriate for what you want to say. And you can add an attachment if that's necessary or helpful. And then you can preview down here the email, what it's going to look like when the student gets it. And then you'll see they'll click this schedule an appointment. And when they do that, we'll preview the landing page. It's going to take them directly to this calendar view. So they just click the day and what times are available for you that match their own availability, because this system knows when they've got class. And then any comments back to you. And once they've done that, the appointment's made. So that just gives you a sense of what they're going to see. When you're happy with your email, click continue. And then the fifth stage is really just a review to make sure that all of this is what you want it to be. You can preview the email again, see all of the students you're inviting, and who you've assigned as the staff member to the campaign. Again, this is used by some offices on campus, and so there are multiple people that can be assigned for a campaign. But for you guys with registration advising, best to just choose yourself. And the system's going to default to email and text message reminders to the student a day before, and I think the day of with the text message. They get that. When you're happy with it, you can save and exit and send it later or send it now. And there you go. So let's go back home real quick. If you wanted to go back to your appointment campaign, you can click campaigns and appointment campaigns and test 3. This is where you could go in to edit the campaign details some, delete the campaign, export student list. You can come in here and see what students haven't made appointments yet, and you could select them or all of them and resend the appointment request with the same email that pops up, or change it however you want. But that's a good way just to resend if a student hasn't scheduled with you yet. Back on your home screen, once this thing is live and out there, you're going to see, as students schedule, a short list of upcoming appointments down here on the right-hand side. And if you go to the upcoming appointments tab, it's going to show you all of your upcoming appointments, not just the most recent ones. And when you are done with your advising meeting, if you want to log a report in EAB, that it's basically an advising note, you can come down here, select the meeting that's happened, and click Actions, Add an Appointment Summary. And it's just going to come up with some basic information on the side that's asking you for, and then the text box where you can type in the notes for that particular meeting. You don't have to do that. I will say it is actually really helpful for an office like Academic Services to be able to go in and see the advising reports, because sometimes if you've forgotten to remove the advising hold and are away or not with your email for a while, and the student comes to us being like, I met with my advisor, I'm ready to go, but the system says the hold's still there. We can remove their hold if we can confirm in here through a report that you logged that meeting actually occurred and y'all discussed registration. And then we can help the student out in that way. So just food for thought. It's pretty easy to do through upcoming appointments and then recent appointments, and then add that appointment summary or the advising report. So I hope that's helpful as we navigate 2021 together. If y'all have any questions, feel free to contact Academic Services, 540-654-1010, or give us an email shout at advise@umw.edu. That's ADVISE @umw.edu. So I hope this finds you all very well, and I will see you around. Bye.